Greetings, my name is Ashley Alexander from the DMV, and I am here to review the Great Gatsby soundtrack, which is one of my personal favorites as of recent. But you can't really talk about this soundtrack without talking about the other soundtracks the director has done. Granted, I give it to you guys, Jay-Z's the executive producer, yay, good job, but he's only really producing the film score. Now, the director, Baz Luhrmann, look him up. He did Moulin Rouge, Strictly Ballroom, and most importantly, Romeo and Juliet. Baz Luhrmann and Jay-Z have been working on this for about 2 years. All right, but the thing is that this director very much makes the soundtrack the important part of the movie. And in this case, most people have read The Great Gatsby a bajillion times if you read, and know what it brings. So Baz Luhrmann has to figure out a way to make this much more opulent than you already envisioned. And since he used to be a ballroom dancer when he was a kid, and since he always does everything very colorful and full of cinematography and just full of drama, The Great Gatsby is the most perfect thing Baz Luhrmann could have done. So, once we get through that, let's get to the older ones. Romeo and Juliet. Great soundtrack, had amazing artists on it, and they were all originals. Garbage, Radiohead, Butthole Surfers, the Cardigans, Desiree, who had the hit single in the soundtrack, mind you, formulated that movie. You can't really think of Romeo and Juliet and not think of Loving You, which is the Desiree song, and they're in the pool and all that stuff, and in the fish tank. Next, over time, you get to Moulin Rouge, which was mostly covers. Beck covers David Bowie's Diamond Dogs. Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor cover Elton John and Queen, and they do all these medleys of songs. The entire premise of it was Moulin Rouge, the burlesque, covering the most current songs you could think of, and that's what made it interesting. So the Gatsby soundtrack is actually half original and half covers. That's what makes this different. That's what makes it important. You can't have this soundtrack if you don't have the other two. So, like I said, with this mixtape, with this album, half of it's originals, half of it are covers. They have the most amazing artists of the current age on this thing. You know, there's Nero on it if you like EDM, will.i.am's got an EDM track, Fergie's on it, Sia's on it, Florence and the Machine are on it, the XX are on it, Jay-Z's on it, of course Andre and 3000 and Beyonce are on it. All right, ladies, all right, gentlemen, you Beyonce fans, you guys are loyal. I don't want to disrespect you guys, but let's keep it all the way 100. The Back to Black cover, meh. Okay, or look, I love Andre 3000. He's my favorite rapper. He really can do no wrong. But when you add Beyonce to it, it just didn't knock. And to be honest with you, the original of the Amy Winehouse song Back to Black is such a good song, and it's formatted perfectly. Andre did something very cool and funky that's almost like an Idlewild feel to it. But I'm not that happy that it made it to the album. I mean, of course, you gotta put it on the album. The executive producer's wife is in the building. So I get it, but maybe, just maybe, she should have covered her own song with Brian Ferry's orchestra instead of Emily Sand, and then maybe everybody would be happier. I keep getting mixed reviews about this whole Back to Black thing, and there's tons of people who are just like, oh, it's such a dope song, and they both sound great, and they're both awesome, and all that in between. They probably haven't heard the original. And the ones that have heard the original think it's terrible. So I'm not gonna be too rude, and I'm sorry you Beyonce fans, but she kinda dropped the ball with that one. I'm a really big fan of any good music in a commercial or a trailer. Thank God for Shazam now, because I used to be the dummy running around the mall and restaurants asking people to go in the back and tell me who's performing. But I don't have to do it anymore. I'm just the dumb holding my phone up in the middle of the air, just waiting for people to be quiet. So it just so happened when the trailer came out for Great Gatsby some time ago, and I was really excited for it, they had No Church in the Wild from Kanye and Frank Ocean and Jay-Z in the trailer, and then immediately into it, they had the song with Jack White. And I didn't know what it was, but I knew that I wanted it. And I found out that it was Jack White covering U2's Love is Blindness. And it's one of the trailer's important feelings to make you understand what's about to happen. So, my 3 favorite songs from this album actually are Sia's Kill and Run. She has the best track on the album, and I don't care what anyone says. Lyrically, it's perfect, the feeling is perfect, and it conveys exactly what's going on for this book and for the movie. The second one, Love is Blindness from Jack White. U2 does it their own way, because it's their song. Go check it out and listen to it, but check out how Jack White does it. He demolishes it. It's this loud, thrashing, screeching song, and it will kick you in your face, and I think most people kind of need it. Now, third song. Surprisingly enough, you would probably think it. I'm not the biggest Florence and the Machine fan, but her song, Over the Love of You, is insane. Insanity. I don't even mean it gassing her up. She hit it on the nose. This movie was made for her, especially because she's such a 20s kind of performer. Florence and the Machine has the best song of the third, but Sia is the one to check out. If you like Massive Attack, if you like 07, if you like Sia, and most people should like Sia in this world, check her out, S-I-A. She has the best song. It's called Kill and Run. Please go check it out. Now, in my opinion, whether or not you should buy it or download it or skip it, I would say to buy a single and see how you feel. Normally I would say, oh, go buy it and just work it out. But because the artists are all over the place, that's kind of a hard thing for one person to be like, oh yeah, I like Fergie and I like the XX. You won't really hear too many people comfortably say that. So in my mind, download it. It's worth it. And if you go see the movie, you're really gonna wanna download it because there's just pivotal scenes that have important songs to it, like the rest of the films that Baz Luhrmann does, and it's important to have. So, download it. Great Gatsby soundtrack. Sia, Florence and the Machine, Jack White. Worth it. Sorry, Jay-Z, but that's why it's worth it. So, once again, this is Ashley Alexander coming to you from Maryland. And everyone knows I'm pretty into my music and I listen to tons of other stuff. I'm not too vain about listening to myself. So after so long of doing mixtapes and CDs for my friends of all the things I listen to in 1 month, because I do it every month, this month has been wrapped up in The Great Gatsby, and everybody's kind of mad at me because I have nothing else but just The Great Gatsby. So if you actually want to know what kind of music I'm listening to this month, check me out on Twitter at always_A. Double the word and the letter A. Or you can check me out on Facebook, Ashley Alexander. I have a fan page, all that good stuff. You can hear my music, all that stuff in between. But if you really want to know something good to listen to, I am one person to contact. So wherever you are in the world, Godspeed, stay classy, check out The Great Gatsby. You're gonna love it.